into right center field. That ball's going to get down, and that is going to break the scoreless tie. Well hit by Rizzo. Harper cannot make the play. That's going to score another run. And Hendricks strikes out. Hendricks got him.
After getting their postseason off to a rousing winning start, Cubs look to turn home to Wrigley Field with a 2-0 lead in their NLDS series against the Washington Nationals. Two teams square off in our nation's capital tonight. John Lester gets the start for the Northsiders. They'll match up with fellow lefty Gio Gonzalez. We'll get you ready for all the action over the next 30 minutes. Hello, welcome into Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. He's David DeJesus. I'm David Kaplan. You couldn't ask for much more than the Cubs got yesterday. Tremendous, awesome starting pitching, timely hitting, and a shutdown bullpen, and they get the job done. That was how you draw it up.
Yeah, you would like a little more offense early, but Strasburg was dominant. But Kyle Hendricks matched him and really outpitched him yesterday. That the offense came through with some big hits. You want your Bryant and Rizzo doing their thing in the postseason. They did it last night.
They absolutely did. All right, in a few minutes, we will let you get interactive with our show. Get your mobile, laptop, tablet ready. Head to NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. We'll bring you our live fan vote. We'll weigh in as well. Let's talk about Kyle Hendricks, who was magnificent yesterday. Continues to shine in the postseason. Take a look at his numbers. With his 7 shutout innings last night, he now owns the 6th lowest ERA of all time among pitchers with at least 7 postseason starts. The 198 Ernie puts him on the list with the likes of Sandy Koufax, Christy Mathewson, I think you played against him, Bob Gibson. David, he was not only good, he was dominant last night.
Yes, and that's off of an 88-mile-an-hour fastball and a changeup. He had 2 pitches, but that's all he needed. The movement on that sinker was unbelievable. He was getting guys hitting off the tops of their bats, swinging through pitches, and taking pitches like right there. Jason Worth all game long had that same face like, I can't hit this pitch. So he was just on top of his game, and when he's on top of his game, he's a number 1.
Yeah, he had that ball dancing. I mean, the one he struck out Daniel Murphy on the ball that was a changeup down. He got Bryce Harper there. That one's fading away. The pitch to Murphy, for me, was the best pitch I watched all night. Here's the force play leading to the double play.
Yeah.
They got another one that was a force. That pitch
That's
right there to Bruce was legit. There's another one right here where they beat it into the ground, and he fields his position so exceptionally well. And then they did a really good job with Trey Turner. He's looking breaking ball, and he gets one right down the chute. That's the pitch right there. That pitch last night was great to a lot of guys, but that was the best one of the night.
Yes, that thing, just the bottom fell out of that pitch. And when he's going, you see all this just soft contact. It's because of that changeup. The hitters didn't know, should I attack the fastball? Should I wait on the changeup? They were just, he had him on a yo-yo, and these hitters were not themselves last night.
All right, let's talk about Rizzo. First 2 times facing Steven Strasburg, Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo were 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, and they didn't look good on those strikeouts. Then the 3rd time around, Chris Bryant got the first Cubs hit of the game. He drove in the first run. He hustled the second on the throw home. Bryce Harper missed the cutoff man. Rizzo drives him in, and Anthony would later drive in the 3rd run of the game as well. That ball would have been trapped anyway had it not popped out of his glove. So that was a big, big play right there. But I thought the miss of the cutoff man by Bryce Harper was a huge play in the game.
Huge. You know, those are the little things in the playoffs that seem to come up in big situations. You have to be able to know what you're doing beforehand. Bryce was just trying to throw his arm, show his arm off, missed the cut, got to second base, and that's how you give up another run, an add-on run, and that's what the Cubs did a good job yesterday of adding on.
Look at Rizzo in postseason play. His first 15 games, as he worked his way into it, a 127 hitter. His last 12, 413, 10 runs scored, 3 bombs, 12 RBIs, 9-5 K to walk. On-base percentage of .491 and a slug of .739. That gives you an insane OPS.
And then those are the biggest games. That's World Series, that's NLCS, and Game 1. So he's shining in the top moments. and that's what you want to see from your number 3 hitter, your captain of your team.
Yeah, your team leader, your face of your team. All right, for more on today's ball game, let's go out to the third member of our team all season long. She's awesome. She's Kelly Kroll with our Miller Lite Game Report.
Although simple, guys, Wilson Contreras may have said it best when asked about Jon Lester taking the bump in Game 2 tonight against the Nationals. Sounds pretty good to me, is how he replied. One of the most battle-tested postseason pitchers will look to give the Cubs a 2-0 advantage before they head back to Wrigley. But what an act to follow. Hendricks and Strasburg lights out last night, and as we all witnessed, just that small little window is all it took for the Cubs to capitalize in Game 1.
History of our division. The battles that we've had playing against those teams as well, man. Playoff experience in those teams that you just got to hang in there and just kind of grind it out, see what happens, and just keep pushing. Make them feel the pressure. Go up there, have our at bats, and look for the smallest thing to find some positivity and try not to miss when it comes.
It was Game 163 last night, for lack of a better way of putting it. In other words, I mean, listen, we understand the importance of it. We understand where we're at. We get it. But you can't treat it as anything but Game 163. You have to keep your mind that slow.
The Cubs veteran southpaw will look to set the tone once again tonight. In 22 career playoff outings, including 19 starts, Lester has a .263 ERA. He's likely to be tested by the Nationals on the base paths, and that's something he said he and the Cubs have prepared for. But once again, the narrative of experience, Lester said, will be key.
Some people say it's not different. It is different. It's a different atmosphere. From pitch one, this crowd's going to be going. And you don't have that during the regular season. So you have the atmosphere. You got all the hoopla with going on today. I'm sure there'll be some cool people throwing out the first pitch, a cool person singing the national anthem, flyovers, all that fun stuff. So it's stuff you don't normally deal with in the regular season. So I think each individual handles it differently, and you got to figure out what works for you. I just know from our clubhouse and being around these guys the last 3 years, you could see the nervousness, the anxiety, and in 15. Last year was more of just kind of like, we're not going to let that happen again, and more of a calmness in the clubhouse. And this year I feel like it's the same.
And 1 year ago today, Lester threw 8 shutout innings in the opening game of the NLDS against the Giants. We all know how that played out for the Cubs, so we'll see if he can have the same kind of magic here tonight. And for any of you who are curious if the Nationals do put pressure on Lester on the base paths, the Northsiders have thrown out 12 of 31 would-be base stealers behind him. So we'll see how that storyline plays out. But hey, let's get this Game 2 underway here from the nation's capital. Guys, let's send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Time for our bona fide starting pitchers, brought to you by the awesome beef of Bona Beef. Jon Lester, 32 starts. Gio Gonzalez, 32 starts. Record a bit better for Gio. ERA markedly better. The innings a little higher for Gio as Jon spent that time on the DL. You look at the strikeouts to walk ratio, and it's better in Jon Lester's favor, and the whip a little bit better for Gio. But Gio did not have a good month of September. Bloated ERA, 26 in the third innings, 13 walks, and ERA, I believe, 5.47 in the month of September. So things trending better as Jon had 2 good starts to finish it.
Yes, and the last start was his first scoreless outing since April 16th against the Pirates. So he's trending in the right direction, but it's all about that fastball. Can he command that fastball? And if he is, then his changeup and his curveball are tougher for hitters to see. So he was on, when he's pitching in big games, he wants to pitch in those big games, and he's the type of guy that the Cubs love having in this second spot right here to put them up 2-0. If they can go 2-0 back home, that's going to be a huge
massive,
change.
Massive. In 8 starts from August 1st through September 20th, Lester struggled, giving up 30 earned runs in 39 and 2/3 innings for an ERA of 6.81. Opponents hit 319 off of him, but in his last 2 appearances, he gave up just 1 earned run over 11 innings. Opponent's batting average down to 220. What do you see different, or is it he got a 2-week break and he's not as exhausted?
It's the break, yes. There was a lot of innings on that arm, but it's that fastball. If he's putting that fastball down in the zone, mixing that changeup and curveball off of that pitch, then he's one of the toughest in the game. He's done this his whole life. So when he was going there, he had a little hiccups. You saw fastballs in that little pitch tracker up way out of the zone. Just that's not him. He's always right around the zone, trying to establish that corner so he can work off of it. So if he's doing that tonight against the Nationals, he's going to have a lot of success.
All right, so with that said, it's time for our Miller Lite Cubs fan poll. The vote, visit NBCSportsChicago.com/vote. You do not need a special app. Visit the website. You get interactive with David and with me. Here's today's question. Where's your confidence level in John Lester heading into tonight's start in Game 2 of the NLDS? Choices are high, moderate, low. For me, high. He's John Lester, man. Go out and just take care of business.
For sure, it's high. He's been in situations way more pressure-packed than this, but he knows, like he said, it's different pitching in the postseason. This is going to be, this is Gio's first start since 2012 at home. He's pitched on the road a lot, but at home it's a little different. In front of your fans, there's extra pressure there. When you're on the road going to someone else's place, you just want to go there and win and steal a game. So this is definitely the pressure is on Gio and the Nationals. That makes John Lester even more comfortable in that situation.
Okay, you're not on this team, but you played in the postseason. This is a team that has had their struggles, the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
Now they lose Game 1. I read the articles. It's like, here we go again.
Yeah.
We came in with 97 wins, and you lost, and you didn't get a run, and you look flat, and you're this, and you're that. What is the vibe probably like in their clubhouse tonight?
In Washington's clubhouse right now, they're just, okay, if we win today, we're back to 1-1. Now it's the best of 3. They're confident, but in the back of their minds, they're feeling like, hey, we have to win this game. It's almost a have-to-win game because going 2-0, going to Chicago, it's going to be tough because you're going to face Kyle Hendricks probably again, maybe once, and then Lester maybe once. Who knows how, or Arrieta might, just who knows.
How things break out.
It's just, you need to win tonight. The Nationals need to win this game today.
All right, keep voting, and we'll have results coming up later in our pregame show. Time for our first break on Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. When we come back, we'll look at the other starting pitcher, Gio Gonzalez, what Joe Madden is doing with his lineup against the lefty. And it's 25 minutes till start of the ball game. Still time for you to give Feldco a call, 866-4FEL-DCO. Be right back.
Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, inviting you to become a member of the Fields family. You also get our free loaners, car washes, and our cafes. And with more than 35,000 vehicles sold annually, you can get a great offer like this.
During the Jeep Celebration event, lease a new 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for only $199 per month at Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Glenview.
And it's just like family. Honestly, I would never go to anywhere else because they treated me so good.
And Fields matters because you matter.
Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram at the Glen in Glenview.
This is more than a bundle. This is more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home court. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. It's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
It's a scary time of year. Just wait until you get your heating bill. Call Feldco to replace your drafty old windows.
Call 866-4Feldco.
Right now at Feldco, get 2 windows for the price of 1 with no money down and no interest until 2019.
2 windows for the price of 1 and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866-4Feldco.
In 1975, we brewed the original light beer with more taste and only 96 calories. We think that's worth celebrating. Miller Lite, back in the original bottle.
Everyone loves a dinner party until it's time for the cleanup. With the Bosch dishwasher, you'll make short work of even the largest piles of post-party dishes. With the innovative My Way rack, which offers the industry's largest third rack capacity without losing space on the lower racks, lets you get more dishes cleaned per load. And Bosch is America's quietest dishwasher brand, so you won't even know it's running in the background. See the complete lineup of Bosch dishwashers at pleasing people since 1936.
This Cubs injury report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
It's just going back to when I was a kid. When they won, I was 12 years old again. That's probably the best way I can put it. I was 12 years old again. My kids didn't understand why I was crying, why I was jumping up. They didn't understand, but I did.
Are you an authentic fan? Show us your Cubs fandom using the hashtag #AuthenticFan, and you may be authentically surprised. And welcome back to this postseason edition of Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Cubs will have their hands full today as they take on left-hander Gio Gonzalez. And you know Joe Madden had the Geek Squad crunching the numbers. Take a look. All right, there you go. So you got a lefty starter. He has got a lineup in there that he's pretty happy with.
Yes, you got to throw righties against Gio Gonzalez. This guy dominates left-handed hitters, so you stack your lineup with righties. Albert Marmora is one of the best lefty killers in the game.
When you look for the season, lefties hit just 183 against Gio Gonzalez. Righties hit 226. What makes him so tough? You faced him.
It's that curveball fastball combination, mid-90s fastball, but that curveball is so sharp you don't see it. That spin is so tight that it looks like a fastball, but next thing you know, it's bearing in to righties, just biting sharp away against lefties. So for lefties, they have to be able to just concentrate, try and shoot the ball the other way, and give them that fastball in.
How do you think you did against him?
I know I went yard off him. He was my teammate.
My guy.
Yeah,
my guy.
That was one of my good friends in Washington when I was there. And
all 4 days.
Yeah. I took him to the video room one day. I was like, hey, let's see all this. I saw you pitch. I saw you miss. And I didn't tell him it was me hitting. I was like, watch this lefty go yard off you. He saw it. He's like, who's that? I was like, that's me. He's like, no! So then he showed me a picture of him striking me. I was like, all right, I got you, but I still got you. So
David DeJesus, 2 for 8 with a home run against Gio Gonzalez. Pretty good
too.
Lefty on lefty, so that's pretty good. Let's check out the Cubs starting lineup brought to you by Zorn Brewer. Joe Madden stacking his lineup with right-handers. Al Moore gets to start in center field and leads off, followed by Bryant Rizzo Contreras. Addison Russell in the 5th spot in his order. Ben Zobrist starts again in right and bats 6th. Javi Baez at second. Switch hitting Ian Happ sees his first postseason action. Gets to start in left and hits 8th. John Lester, the pitcher, will bat 9th. But let's talk about the leadoff hitter, Albert Almora Jr. Over his last 45 games, he's hitting .354. And over his last 16 games, he's hitting .433. And he's the best pure center field defender on the roster.
Yes, he is. And he deserves this start. He bangs lefties. He's able to stay inside the ball against lefties. That's what's so good about him. And he drives it the other way. He trusts himself against them. I want to see him. That next step next year is handling righties better. That's his next step for him to be an everyday center fielder.
Right. I look at him and go, that's the guy that should be starting in center field 6 days out of 7.
Exactly. But it's a progression. You dominate your lefties. You know you're going to play against lefties. Now it's spring training. Take advantage of those at bats against right-handers and do your job. If you're doing your job, getting on base, they got to put you out there.
All right. Despite managing only 2 hits last night, Dusty Baker is not making any changes to his Game 2 lineup. Turner's in short, leading off with a lot of speed. Harper in right, Rendon at third, Murphy at second, Zimmerman at first, Worth in left, Wieters catches, Taylor plays center, and Gio Gonzalez is the pitcher. Matt Wieters has pretty good numbers against John Lester, but 99.9% of them come when he was in Boston and Wieters was in Baltimore.
Exactly. So he's seen him, he understands it, but a lot of the lineup hasn't seen John Lester, so it's an advantage for Lester right now, definitely going into this game on the road. And now it's time to go out there for John and just attack with that fastball.
All right, just a reminder for Game 3, 3 o'clock start. If either the Red Sox or the Yankees win tomorrow, should the Indians and Astros both sweep their series, first pitch will be at 4:30 at Wrigley. We have to take a final timeout on Fields Auto Group Cubs Pregame Live. When we come back, you'll hear from Dusty Baker. As David gives us his keys to the game, we each pick our key performers in Game 2 of the NLDS. And there's still time to vote in our fan poll. Where's your confidence level in John Lester, tonight's starter for the Cubs? The results are coming up.
The So obesity amongst kids is very widespread. Some of these babies, they can't even run. It is heartbreaking to me.
Sugared soda is contributing to an epidemic of childhood obesity and diabetes.
These kids are facing adult problems. Around the church, you ought to see the dialysis centers that are popping up. The soda companies are targeting these kids, and we need to protect them. I can minister to these kids, but I can't cure them. The soda pop tax is the right thing to do.
This is more than a bundle. This is more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home court. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. It's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Now, legendary BMW performance for less than you think when you buy or lease a certified pre-owned BMW at Canals BMW. With special offers on a great selection of BMW models, each one passing a rigorous certification process and backed by a protection plan for ultimate peace of mind. Our certified pre-owned BMW sales event is here at Canals BMW, Route 41, Lake Bluff.
I'm Ryan Sandberg, and I've played baseball in the great city of Chicago for 17 seasons. Back in the day, I had a lot of hair, and it got to the point where I didn't look like any of those pictures that the fans were bringing up to me. I didn't look like myself in the 80s and the 90s. Didn't know that there was any options. I just went into the office, took it easy. It was like just being at home, and Restore did all the work. The procedure that Restore does, taking hair from the back, put it in the front, no pain whatsoever, and it's my own hair. I think having hair has totally regained my confidence. It gives me energy, makes me feel younger. Go to Restore, have a consultation, check it out for yourself. I'm Ryan Sandberg, and I chose Restore.
Call Restore today for your free consultation and get a $500 discount. It may be the first step that changes your life forever. Call 1-800-823-9239 or visit restorehair.com.
I think it helps too, kind of being an underdog and not really expected to win the whole thing. Last year it was just like, you guys have to win the whole thing or you're a failure. And we did it, but this year, I mean, it's no different. We want to be the last team standing, and it's kind of a cool spot to be with nobody really expecting us to.
That was Chris Bryant on the expectations his Cubs team is facing this postseason. Welcome back to Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. Nationals trying to avoid falling into a really tough 0-2 hole in the series. Now, earlier today, Dusty Baker asked about the urgency entering Game 2.
You know, there's a fine line between urgency and panic. And the thing that you never want to do, you never want to panic. You've heard me say there's always a way out. Urgency or panic certainly doesn't help the situation, you know? I mean, you have to have the coolness of mind, but the burning desire to succeed in your heart, and then respond accordingly.
All right, interesting stuff to hear from Dusty. Now, Dusty's contract is up. He has wanted, and he's been open about it, to get an extension done. And Mike Rizzo, his boss, the GM, has said, as soon as the season's over, I'd like to get an extension done. I'd like to have him back. If they were to lose this series after 97 wins, amid reports that Joe Girardi's contract's up in New York, and people are upset that he didn't challenge last night, could you see the Nationals making a phone call and going, doors open, knock on it, and come on in, Joe?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Joe is regarded as one of the best managers in the game, and you know, Dusty had a tough struggle there. He had one of the best lineups in the game. The top starters didn't do anything with them last couple of years. So hey, sometimes you got to turn the page over. So that's why Dusty's sounding a little dejected right now.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll see how it goes tonight. We mentioned how good Kyle Hendricks was yesterday. Cubs bullpen was excellent for 2 innings as well. Hendricks able to get the game to 2 of the relievers Madden seems to trust the most. Carl Edwards Jr. and Wade Davis, the duo, face 6 hitters, retire tomorrow.
That's what you want to do. If you can get your starter to go 7, go right to Carl Edwards and Wade Davis. It worked out perfectly last night, and if you can do it again tonight, Joe Madden would take that, because these guys are the guys that Joe wants in the game and the Cubs want in the game to close out the game as well.
Anthony Rendon, I thought he might get tossed right there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was ticked. But it
he
was
wasn't
really
saying anything, though.
No, he was not happy with that pitch.
Yeah.
But it was amazing to watch all 3 guys. They induced soft contact or blew people away.
Oh, yeah, these guys, it was just a dominant pitching performance by the Cubs, and they're hoping that John Lester can just back that and keep it rolling right now, because the Cubs are coming.
Yeah, absolutely right. All right, time for the results of our fan poll. We're asking, where's your confidence level in tonight's Cubs starter, John Lester? Take a look at the voting.
Right
60% of you say high, 30% of you low. What are you doing? Have a glass of wine and relax. Time for our field auto keys to tonight's ball game. And let's start with key 1, rattle Gio.
Yes, you want to rattle him. He gets rattled early. You can do that by not chasing his pitches and by working deep counts. He's last time he faced the Cubs, he walked 5 hitters. There was guys on base, they just couldn't get the big hit. So the Cubs are going to have guys on base. Can the Cubs come up with big hits in big situations?
All right, fastball command.
With John Lester, that's what he has to embark on, is being able to put that fastball where he wants to. That changeup and curveball work off that pitch. So if he can do that tonight, the Cubs are in a real good position to win the game.
Right, let's see. Our key performers, I get to pick. I'm going to go Ben Zobrist. You heard me, Ben Zobrist.
Wow, that's my pick yesterday. Okay, I'll give you that. Wilson Contreras is that guy. He has limited success against Gio, so it's a big day for Wilson.
All right, my son Brett's here. He's going with Chris Bryant. Shocking. Thanks for watching Cubs Pregame Live, presented by the Fields Auto Group. We'll be back after the final out, so you flip on over. We'll get you caught up on everything out of the locker room and from the podium. Cubs and the Nationals are coming up.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, inviting you to become a member of the Fields family. You also get our free loaners, car washes, and our cafes. And with more than 35,000 vehicles sold annually, you can get a great offer like this.
During the Jeep Celebration event, lease a new 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for only $199 per month at Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Glenview.
And it's just like family. Honestly, I would never go to anywhere else because they treated me so good.
And Fields matters because you matter.
Fields Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram at the Glen in Glenview.
I don't own the apartment building, but the right out front is mine. And everything inside, like my office, and my library, my studio. I worked hard to get all of it. And I just
want to be sure it's all protected with auto and renter's insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here.
Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
This Cubs injury report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
This is the original light beer. And 40 years later, we still brew it the same way. Because when you get something right, you don't mess with it. Miller Lite. Hold true.
The obesity amongst kids is very widespread. Some of these babies, they can't even run. It is heartbreaking to me.
Sugared soda is contributing to an epidemic of childhood obesity and diabetes.
These kids are facing adult problems. Around the church, you ought to see the dialysis centers that are popping up. The soda companies are targeting these kids, and we need to protect them. I can minister to these kids, but I can't cure them. The soda pop tax is the right thing to do.
Penny? Penny? Where are you? Benny? 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 Oh, no.
The Great Haircut Sale is back at Great Clips. A price so low, everyone will go. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
We are back. Another season of beer